Here at Music Resource Center, we cover everything audio, whether that be multi-track recording, beat making, podcasts, which includes creating your own weekly radio show, to live sound. But we have rhythm instrumentation here, like guitar, bass, drums, piano, and we have staff here and volunteers and interns that help us with specific instruments.
We've waited through the decades and the suffering. Now, Bengals fans are roaring back. No more "we can."
We still have what we want to achieve in front of us, which is ultimately winning a championship.
The message, the mission is clear.
I'm tired of the underdog narrative. We're a really, really good team.
Bengals fans, our time is now. We Can is over. We Will has finally arrived.
The jail knew Bohannon used heroin and fentanyl when he was booked July 1st. An incident report shows he told a paramedic July 3rd he was going through withdrawal from opiates. On July 5th, a part-time medic evaluated Bohannon. 5 months later, the jail issued a complaint about the medic's attention to duty and unsatisfactory performance related to the treatment of Bohannon on July 5th.
I wanted to marry you. I wanted to be with you. I was deeply in love with you.
We should warn you, some of these details are disturbing.
This affidavit, signed by Brandon Hubbard, sheds light into the days after 51-year-old Derek Reagan contracted COVID. Hubbard, Reagan's cellmate, says the Olympic boxing coach begged for medical attention.
In his car, end zone, intercepted!
If you don't believe in what you're doing, people are going to see right through it.
And for the first time in 31 years, Cincinnati, your Bengals have won a playoff game.
The past is the past right now, and I'm just focused on this team.
I'm just really, really happy for the city of Cincinnati and enjoy the ride here because we're not done yet.
52 yards, sweeps the leg, McPherson. He's got it. The Bengals mantra has been, why not us?
We worked very hard to be in this position.
This team is filled with fantastic football players.
Beeline, gets past Ward. Look at him go. Inside the 20, into the 10. Oh, he takes it the distance.
This team went from absolutely last.
There he is to the end zone, and he comes down with it. Open. Taylor. This game is tied. McPherson.
To right now competing for the championship of the league.
And Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl. Hooray!
I can't tell you how much we appreciate your support.
We're going to go give it our all on Sunday.
We plan to bring that Lombardi trophy back here, baby. Let's go. It is us. Who there?
In cyberspace, we're all neighbors, and hackers can walk right down your cyber street to see if there's anything they might want to steal.
In the neighborhoods of cyberspace, there's a crime wave.
Think of it like a burglar casing a house.
Virtual villains with high-tech tools.
They're going to look around the property, they're going to jiggle the doors, see what's unlocked.
Cybersecurity agencies report attacks have multiplied hundreds of times just since Russia invaded Ukraine.
So you're already seeing an increase in these attacks?
Yes, we are. We're seeing about 600% uptick in the last 2 months of different attempts and scans and attacks to the networks.
Ty Bronwert is a senior security engineer with Nexigen. They're based in Newport and provide cybersecurity. He says it's not just major metropolitan areas being targeted.
And people don't realize Cincinnati is a very juicy target because we have IRS building, we have an FBI building, we have a lot of interesting infrastructure that people don't realize in Cincinnati.
And it's not just the targets you might expect, like the Colonial Pipeline that was shut down. The Cincinnati Museum Center had their systems disrupted in March, and so did the Freedom Center. Duke Energy is on high alert from January to February this year. They saw an 81% increase in phishing and cybersecurity attempts. How high is their security alert?
I don't think we could raise it up any higher.
The front line in a digitally connected world is everywhere. It is a Colonial Pipeline. It is Duke Energy. It is the Freedom Center because they are connected to the World Wide Web.
Dr. Gregory Winger is a UC political science professor. He says cyber attacks and war are now linked forever.
Cyber is part of this now. There's no going back to a pre-digital age. This is part of geopolitics, and all conflicts will have a cyber component.
Individuals are at risk too, and not just their bank accounts, but as a window into a bigger target. Making it even more difficult to sort out is the chaos of a war. It creates so much cyber system noise, it's almost impossible to determine who's responsible for any given attack.
It's not just the Russians, it's everyone. Everyone's using that noise to cover their attacks.
Traditional crime, we've gotten much better at identifying who the perpetrator is. That's really hard to do in cybersecurity.
Lurking in the shadows of cyberspace are criminals looking for some way inside, in a community where next-door neighbors can be thousands of miles apart.
So to protect yourself, one key, updates, and in places you might not think about, like your cell phone and your smart TV. Most of them are now. Cyber thieves can find a way into your information this way. Your smart doorbell is an entryway too. It's connected to all of your other systems, and a good hacker can navigate right on through. Experts say use multi-factor authentication. That's where they text you a code. Use antiviral protection and change your password regularly to stay safe in your cyber neighborhood. Brian Hemrick, WLWT News 5.
At Amanda Miller Nash's home in Hamilton, there's reminders of her mom in almost every room.
She was a really funny person. She had a great sense of humor.
58-year-old Diane Pink was called Mom and Gigi by 4 granddaughters she adored. She died in September in the Butler County Jail. The longtime Frisch's waitress spent the last few years battling addiction.
Our relationship, like the past year or two, hasn't been great because I've been trying to get her help and to stop.
Pink was booked September 7th for drug possession and DUI. She died 4 days later.
She did things in this community and then she dies in jail. She dies in their care.
According to her autopsy report, Pink died due to opiate withdrawal, complicating chronic opiate abuse. Then
I started getting letters from other girls.
Other inmates at the time explaining what they saw. One wrote, "She was crying and moaning so loud in pain, you could hear her out in the pod." Another writing, "I told multiple officers she was just brushed off as being dope sick." And another, "Your mom was lying dead in that cell for a while."
These people are not animals. They have families. You know, they have people that care about them, and why are they treated this way? I don't get it.
Pink isn't the only person who died from withdrawal in the jail last year. 24-year-old Cody Bohannon died while going through withdrawal 5 days into his 60-day sentence for a misdemeanor.
Just heartbreaking because he died a horrible death. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
2 months and 6 days later, Pink also died from withdrawal.
That frequency does surprise me.
Al Gerhardstein is a Cincinnati-based civil rights attorney.
There really needs to be better supervision from the department, from the state, over these jails.
So in many ways, these jails are policing themselves.
Yes, they're responsible to police themselves, except for whatever lawsuit we might happen to bring.
Butler County Jail officials have declined all of our requests for an interview, but documents we obtained show they're aware they have work to do in watching out for inmate physical and mental health. In its most recent annual state inspection, a self-audit completed in December 2020, the jail was non-compliant with one essential standard in both its Hanover Street and Court Street locations.
The particular standard that they flunked was the one that requires a thorough assessment at 14 days for every inmate. That's a really important standard.
It ensures every inmate receives a health assessment and treatment plan. But 8 months after that self-audit, the jail remained out of compliance with that same essential standard. Gerhardstein believes civil suits are the next best option, but even those aren't always enough.
And that's a pretty bad system for raising the bar and getting the kind of care people really need.
The jail made significant updates to its policies on detoxification after Bohannon and Pink's deaths. Before they died, the policy hadn't been updated in more than 3 years. But after their deaths, documents we obtained show the jail updated the policy 3 times in less than 3 months. One of the changes is for jail staff to consider administering oral hydration or IV fluids if an inmate is showing symptoms of withdrawal or requests medical attention. A 3-page memo sent to staff laid out additional changes, saying when it is learned that an inmate will be going or is going through a withdrawal from alcohol or drugs, medical staff will immediately be notified. Medical then makes the call if the person should be placed on medical observation. Those individuals will receive 10-minute medical checks and be housed in one pod. According to at least 2 inmates, Pink died in a glass cell alone. Her daughter says she deserved better.
When is it going to change?
A lot of our students didn't really know they would be interested in doing anything in audio in terms of speaking and doing radio, but a lot of them just love to talk.
Finding an outlet to allow their voices to be heard.
Hey, I'll leave the young thing alone.
They're just like, oh, wow, look at him. When he first got here, he wasn't doing nothing. He was just sitting here. Yes, no, I'm okay. And now he's like, okay, I want to go in the beat lab.
The Music Resource Center, creating a place where teens can grow, learn, and make music.
I just am grateful to have a relationship that's more like a family than it is just a counselor, a student relationship.
Developing lifelong relationships while achieving their dreams. From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Research shows after-school programs can help keep young adults out of trouble. If you appeal to their interests, you help boost their confidence and teach them productive ways to express themselves. Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. Plato once said, music is a more potent instrument than any other form of education because rhythm and harmony find their way into their inward places of the soul. The Music Resource Center Cincinnati works with teenagers of all musical abilities from 7th to 12th grade. It's a place over in Walnut Hills that is fostering creativity and self-confidence.
Here at Music Resource Center, we cover everything audio, whether that be multi-track recording, beat making, podcasts, which includes creating your own weekly radio show, to live sound. But we have rhythm instrumentation here, like guitar, bass, drums, piano. And we have staff here and volunteers and interns that help us with specific instruments. We get students who come in for tours and they seem like they like it, but they're unsure. We try to connect with them on, maybe they're interested in something else that are not music, whether it be movies or video games or shoes or, whatever. Anime is a big thing here.
I would come in and there'd be a whole bunch of guys or young ladies that are coming in, and even when they're not making music, we're all sitting around a table and we're playing Smash or we're just talking about the day. And, I think you do realize that more people are the same than they are different. So it was just good making friendships, and they're still my friends.
Hopefully they see the space and they're really like, so seeing is believing when you come here. You could talk about it all you want, but you have to see the space to really get the idea of what's going on and the magnitude of it.
It's a tool and an outlet for students to get to know themselves more. And I'm grateful that it's accessible. Your kid can get involved and be as creative as they can be.
The students choose their own path. So whatever they're interested in, they can choose that path, and we help them with that. There's really no strict policy. We just want them to venture and figure out what they want to do. We try to encourage them and say, you know, we're just here to be a space that you can come to and meet other like-minded students.
All this talent that is here is unbelievable. I think it's really helped to just see other talented people. And I think things like taking music seriously has really helped, because of course people came and gone, you know, and it just really helped to see how driven some of the people who went here were on music. Just seeing the number of people who were into music and just seeing their drive really inspired me.
For students to be able to learn about this place, to learn and gain a lot of experience and knowledge with all of this technology and equipment for just $2 a month, and you get to be ahead of the game. That's the biggest thing. You not only you get to use this stuff, you get to be ahead of the game and be able to take those skills and move it forward when you're out of high school, which is a huge blessing, and it just sets you up for a better future.
What's nice about our artist program is we want to hone in and make sure those students know how to use the equipment and use the software. Because it's not cheap stuff, and we want to make sure they know how to use it properly so they get the best sound that they can. So it's really, I kind of look at it now as this lesson, step-by-step lesson program for our production and engineering students.
$2 a month, Monday through Friday. You're getting fed, snack, and dinner. You're getting state-of-the-art music equipment and getting to meet other creatives in your own field and being able to come together to a space like this that you wouldn't even think exists in Cincinnati. When I was in high school, if I'd known about this, I would have been in here. Luckily, I found out in college, but still, I would tell them, you're missing out. You need to come by. You can't beat this. Now that I'm out of college, I realize you have to pay for all this yourself.
Coming up.
When I was growing up, we didn't have this type of program. So seeing them so young and being so passionate about it, it was just inspiring.
Finding common ground. From the recording studio to podcasting. The different outlets to learn about music. When Let's Talk Cincy returns.